forum on MOT for ASEAN. This is where I will stop and I will invite ideas and discussions. Okay, now Japan, for example, right? Japan is not part of ASEAN, but even Japan, when I was there in Tokyo, the government is calling companies in Japan to go out to buy patents. Right? Don't just invest in property, but go and buy and look for patents to invest in. Right? So this is a new initiative by Japan too. Any question? Any reaction? Any responses?
Pattern.
Yes.
Play with their own game.
Pattern.
When we talk about pattern,
yes,
we are playing in their field.
We are playing into their game.
Yeah, into their game. Can we go out of the game?
This is a tricky question. You see, one of the things you will realize, number one, is that patent, all right, is fair in one way, and that is, all right, it provides the patent holder a window of opportunity. Right? And of course, I don't know how this technology thing is going, right? But I believe that there must be a limit to technological progress. Right? But it's becoming weird. Everything there's a technology solution. Maybe the only way to do this is to limit the number of engineers that they produce. It's engineers who actually create all these problems, scientists.
The problem is that when the West play football, we also want to play football. Why not we play sepak takraw?
Yeah, this is not a question where it's very hard to answer, you see.
I think can be done.
Yeah, but
football attracts better audience.
yeah, football attracts a better audience. And to tell you the truth, all right, the West has actually, modeled and changed the world a lot. Okay, and of course, I agree with you that a lot of reaction people respond by saying, "Why should we imitate the West? Why can't we be ourselves?" Alright, like for example, one country that actually don't want to follow this development path is Bhutan. Bhutan actually still off the country, but even now, the Bhutan has also decided to have limited economic development. Alright, you like it or not, US is a superpower. They got more missiles than the whole world put together. Right? And they got more hardware in terms of military, might than the world put together. So, right. In every age in human civilization, there's always a dominant player. But I believe that the West, America, will not be powerful forever. I believe it's only a matter of time before the decline will set in.
Like we take, for example, few examples. For example, the Vietnam War.
Vietnam War, yes.
If the Vietnamese were to use the same weapons as the Americans, the Vietnamese would not have won the war.
Yes.
But now, the Americans use the air power. They use the land power. The Vietnamese went underneath.
Yes.
They drove the Americans to the sea.
Yes.
That's why I say, don't play their game. Play your own game and make it good.
Yeah, I think he's made the point that if you go out of the game, there is no game. If you say that nobody gets rewarded for their inventions, their innovations, then what's the game? There's no game. Yes. If I can't develop an idea and then get reward for it in the future, I'm not going to do it. That's the argument for people who are interested in money. Us academics don't like money, but
Let's take for example.
Okay, I tell you what. I can answer the question very simply, right? You see, the American patent system at heart of it protects the inventor, the creator of the idea. By it's a social contract. I let the state know this is my disclosure, this is my idea. Alright, therefore I file a patent and the law that protects me, so that anybody who steal my ideas and make money out of it, I have a right to profit. Now this is the basic system in American system.
it's not just American.
No, it's actually French, right?
Well, it's European.
European, okay. The French started it, I believe.
Well, it was started before the French.
It's 1910, right?
Well, the whole idea of some kind of monopoly, some recognizing ideas that leads to sense. That's right.
So if you want to play their game, the only time when innovations are not encouraged is during the Chinese Empire period. Right? And during that time when Confucian ruled. And you know, Chinese don't like change. Alright, so this whole rate of growth, ask yourself, why is the West so progressive? Why is the West able to put a man on the moon and walk on the moon? Right? Why did Chinese civilize it for 5,000 years? You know, I used to tell people that when the Chinese were living in houses and think of military and cooking and very civilized, the West is still climbing trees, you know. Right? 2,500 years ago, they were just in the wild, and we call them Chinese the barbarian, you know. Why are they able to catch up so quickly? Right? And one of the reasons is simply, a very important reason, is they're prepared to share knowledge. They're able to publicize the invention, the innovations, and they let the society knows about it. Right? In China, it's the exact opposite. China, well, this won't happen in China because, alright, maybe you know what happened was that the Kung Fu master, he knows 10 steps. He only teach you 9 steps. You keep 1 step to himself. Knowledge will never be disclosed. This is a very different way of thinking. You know? The society as a whole is different, is molded differently. Right? And of course, Asian society, you respect the old. Why do you respect old people? Very simple, you see. Right? In Asian country, we are basically farmers. You know, farming society. Right? And of course, you find that as population grow, you halve the land, you know, you share. Then after they water it, then after they halve it, you know. By the time they come to Qing Dynasty period, your land is too small to be halved, you know. But the rule of survival means that the guy who outlived the brother will inherit all the land. So people respect old people because you are an inheritor of land. The longer you live, the longer you outlive. But the Western world is very different. Western world is what I call the hunter society. They are hunting. They are actually the Vikings, you know, and they go for the hunt. So in the West, they never respect old people. Age is immaterial. In fact, age is a liability. Right? So that because you can't hunt, you can't ride a horse, you're useless. This is a very interesting anthropological explanation. I think he's the expert in this area. Right? The leadership model I like best actually is the Bedouin practice. Whereby the sheikh, you know, in the old days, not now, not in present Arab, you know, Arabia, but the old Bedouin period where even you're a sheikh, you share your food with the people. You do the work, you know, it's the old, you know, style of leadership. That's first class leadership. So every society changed, and we are now in the 21st century that is dominated by Americans. But I believe that this patent system favors the East in the long term. The Americans are going to regret making so public the information. The Chinese are taking advantage. You see, one thing they are exploring in university is whether, alright, instead of teaching people how to be creative and all that, why don't we teach our students all to study patents and penetrate to the language of patents, right? And then create new product out of patent. There's no law to say you cannot do so, you know. You see what I'm trying to get at? In other words, you know, instead of trying to, you know, have innovativeness, creativity and all, why don't we study all the data involved for product and then try and come up with another new product, right? But using prior knowledge of patents. This is what the Taiwanese are doing. Taiwanese have got a center for patent strategy. Patent, they call it patent strategy. The whole idea is that, right, this talk of innovation and patent are important, yes, but for practicality, right, maybe the easier approach is to study all the patent. And the internet is easily available. But the patent is worded in a way, you know, I mean, my colleague is collaborating with me to file a patent. I'm filing a patent myself, right? He actually, right, says that the most difficult part are the claims. Right. So I think in order for society to progress, maybe right the whole game ball about patent filing should be made as easily and accessible for the individual as possible. Singapore is far too expensive, personally, I feel, to file a patent. Right? My Japanese colleague of mine, a friend of mine, he tells me that if I want to file a patent, why don't I file it in Japan? It's much cheaper. China is only 100 Sing dollars you can file a patent. Right? So these are alternatives. But one thing I can tell you is that, right, America is playing a game now near the edge, but every society, what rises will decline. Inevitable. Right? So I believe that eventually all this patent papers will help the East, and the East will catch up very quickly. Last 20 years, you see, the Chinese are too proud in the past. They never want to learn from outside people. Japan is very different. And Japan is a master of learning. Thai dynasty, they borrow everything from China, They have a mode of learning from outside, but converting what they learn into Japanese. But the Chinese never. They feel that it's a shame to copy people or follow people, But for the last 20 years, because of this opening up, and China is learning very quickly from the West, and they're actually saying that they couldn't believe that there's a system in the West that allow disclosure of knowledge. Right? In fact, when I was in China, someone told me they didn't realize that the West, all the information is all there, and all the technology, all the data are all there. Right? And that is enough for them to catch up with the West. So 20 years, the last 20 years, the Chinese probably learned more from outside world than the last 5,000 years. And that has transformed China, I believe. But the only thing is that I believe that when the Chinese become number one, in other words, when China is inventing, like in the past, when they invented the compass, they invented the printing press, the seal, once they reach that stage, I don't think they will follow the American system. I don't think they will. The Chinese thinking is still that we should keep things secret. It's a different mindset. Right. Okay, I agree with your point that can we not play that game? But right, the game is there, and America is superpower. Everyone is self to America. Right. Yes.
One thing I'm not clear about patent law. Does it apply only domestically, or does it apply across national?
You must follow all laws are territorial. Alright, all laws are territorial. So if you were, let's say, you file a invention, file my patent in the US, in Singapore, it's only valid for Singapore. But then if somebody take my patent in Singapore and export in the US, I must file in the US, and then I'll go to the US court to prove that I actually have a prior claim. Because I disclosed my invention in Singapore, and this guy who got this invention actually stole my idea from the Singapore Patent Office. So it's territorial.
You can sue him even though it is outside Singapore.
Yes, but I have to file my patent in the US first. It's costly again. The US patent is not cheap.
But in principle, it's international.
In principle, it's international in that sense. Yes. But to enforce it, you have to register it. You have to implement it.
And then in cases where people actually...
Oh yeah, a lot of cases. There are a collection of cases called patent cases. In Britain, it's a whole thing. They're very traditional. Nothing new in Britain.
When it goes across borders,
of course, across borders, sure. But of course, the question now, most of the time, is a strategic decision. Should you file a patent or should you not file a patent? Maybe you should just quietly exploit the secret. But once you file the patent, anybody who is smart enough looking at your patent will know how to do exactly what you do. Right? So this is, And of course, one thing is that the UK have very good legal system. The US have very good legal system. Asia don't have very good legal system. This is the other problem.
So the potential of nasi lemak sellers being sued by Americans is quite real.
It's quite real. That's why in India they reacted basmati rice because they were afraid that they cannot export basmati rice to the US. Because the guy would say, but this is my basmati rice. You know genetic genes, new strain of rice will come about. So what the US did was do genetically a more advanced strain of it. Yes. Good, very good responses. What does the Quran has to say about it? I mean, I'll be very interested to learn about patent and about and it's an interesting angle of Does the Quran say that the guy with the first invention has the right to, I know nothing of the Quran. The first day, I was very happy that when I attended a hotel, there was a Quran instead of the usual Bible. And I was very impressed that the Quran is so detailed. Every little thing, it tells you what to do. So I was interested to know, if I can learn from you, right, whether the Quran has anything to say about invention, the guy who invented the new technique, what are the the proper approach towards it. You're so good, Is there
a lot of verses?
Sorry?
A lot of verses in the Quran, but in principle, the verse which says that, if I may say it, that means everything belongs to God.
Yes.
So the knowledge,
Yes.
maybe the pattern, the idea of pattern, trying to limit things is quite quote unquote contrary to. That's why it is very difficult. So, so in the Quran, everything belongs to God, and there are hundreds and hundreds of verses which begins with that to remind us that knowledge belongs to God, and and if you have it, that means you have to disseminate.
No, I think your in that case, the Quran is very much like Chinese thinking, ancient Chinese thinking. No difference. The Confucius says, copyright, right? Okay, now that's a very interesting thing. In the past, we never believed in copyright. The Confucius says that if you write a nice article, right, and somebody would copy your article and distribute it, and tell people about it, you should be grateful and happy that people are doing it.
Yes, it should be that way.
Because he is spreading the name. It is a claim, and Chinese education system. Why Chinese is so difficult subject to study? Because Chinese education system require rote memory of classical essay. You must memorize, 200 words. Or by American standard, by UK standard, by British standard, it is naturalizing. You fail if you do that. Interesting. It's a very, very complete contrast. Copyright law and Confucius thinking, that if you copy your work and distribute, you should be grateful, you should be happy. In the West, it will be infringement of copyright. It will be an offense. You will be, East and West have differences. I agree with. And of course, the latest patenting conflict and issue, I tell you, I share with you very interestingly, is genetic, your genes. A firm in the US is saying that, right, I don't know, fee of $1,005 US, you pay us $1,005 US, we will copyright your genetic code so that nobody can copy your genes, And of course, the issue, very interestingly, is that who owns your genetic code? Who owns it? Right? The argument that you didn't create your own genetic code, it came from, it's from Allah, God, nature, So it's not right for someone to claim copyright to his own genes, but if the genes don't belong to you, who does it belong to? This is latest controversy, right? Whether you can, have rights to your genetic code. I think all this point to one thing. All this science going to this kind of limit. Maybe the world is coming to an end.
So I still hold fast to my belief is.
You don't play the game.
The patent business is out of date.
Out of date?
Yes, it's out of date. It's coming fast out of date. One is it was first, instituted.
Yes.
To protect the business basically.
Yes.
And when so many people are not exposed to research.
Yes.
Now people are everywhere you go, people are doing research.
Yes.
Some are they come to the answers quite quickly.
Yes.
So I don't know how relevant is this patent anymore. That is one. Second is the problem with us is we always want to follow others. For example, the patent second Coca-Cola. Why drink Coca-Cola? Don't drink Coca-Cola. Drink something else.
Coca-Cola didn't patent.
I mean, suppose I'm taking that as an example.
They're very smart. They didn't patent it. They kept it.
To me, I was having the research group last time. What I did was, I don't patent anything. I said, copy it. Because I know the one who copies what is behind me.
You see, power comes from the barrel of a gun. You know what I mean? As long as America is the dominant power, they have the last say. You know, and the only thing, and my only regret, with respect to American here, is that Americans don't know how to play, don't know how to behave. They behave like a small boy, you know. That is my only regret. They should learn how to be. I don't blame them because they're actually a very young country. Right? They're very young. They don't know how to behave like emperor. You know? You can't say to say. You know? You must know how to behave like an emperor, but they don't. With Bush is worse. You know. With Clinton, at least I can see that you know. But America have funny rules. You know? Only two terms of presidency after that. So. I don't think for a simple reason, but I believe what you say to the extent where I believe the world, alright, the whole idea of patent is capitalism. That's it. Capitalism, right? I believe that capitalism is actually reached its limits of utility. Why? Because there are already too many production goods, overproduction. Everybody be a businessman, entrepreneur, flooded with too many goods. Right? But capitalism cannot exist in a society whereby, like a Mao society, Mao Zedong tried that. Mao Zedong went to the other extreme. He wanted to purify the minds of people, clean the mind of people, not to be materialistic. Right? He tried that in cultural China. He tried 10 years. Right? And his idea, his model is very simple. That's why he and Deng Xiaoping are exact opposite. Right? Deng Xiaoping, right? Allow materialism. Mao Zedong wouldn't allow that. Mao Zedong believed that you must clean the heart and the minds of people, that they will want to work for the good of society, not for money. Anti-materialism. Right? Now, Deng Xiaoping says, I don't care, so long as the society benefits, so long as people become rich, what's wrong having capitalism? So in China, it's a very interesting, theory. You know, you see two opposite systems coexisting, the yin and the yang. Alright. Politically, China is still communist. Jiang Zemin wants to admit entrepreneurs to the Communist Party. Alright. In fact, the hardcore Communist Party don't agree to that. In fact, I think Jiang Zemin faces more problem with the hardcore communists who are still holding power. Because they are pure, they are not stained by corruption and all that.
There is one thing bad about patent.
Yes.
It makes people lazy. The inventor lazy.
I can tell you one thing. That part I must share with you. Once you file one patent, you will find that you'll be busy for the rest of your life. You know why? Especially in the modern age. That's why we wanted to teach patent strategy to our students. You file one patent, let's say, everybody else will be thinking how to use the patent as what you call a staircase, alright? You do the stairs, alright, okay, you're here now. Everybody will think how to make another step higher and file a new patent, so that, alright, they can then, alright, one step up from you. Now, if you file one patent, you will find you will end up having to file a lot of other patents to protect your ideas. Alright, that's why you will not have just one patent, but you will increasingly mushroom. You will find that every product will be mushrooming of patents, a rather core patent, mother patent. This is called a mother patent. So it's not true that they will be lazy. No, they will. In fact, you have to do a lot more research to continuously file patents around it to show that this is still protected by a formula.
So in that case, is it necessary to file the first patent?
Sorry?
In that case, is it necessary to file the first patent?
You have to file the first one, the first claim.
No, I think if you don't file the first patent, you let people know of the first invention, and you carry on research and improve
the only one
the technology, and everything behind you.
Yes. The only way you can play the winning game is you are very smart. People are so far behind you, and you can keep on developing, and people cannot even smell your fart. Yes, you're number one. Yes, sure.
If you were to teach patent strategy, what would be the contents of the course?
We are experimenting in NTU. We are actually teaching students, for example, this is the law, this is a product. Can you go and search the patent relating to this law? Right? Then you say, okay, these are all ideas about the patent of the law. Can you come up with a new law? Alright, and imagine you are coming a new law that doesn't infringe existing patent. Now, we are thinking of doing that.
So does that mean the course is in the law faculty or business or
engineering, but multidisciplinary. But we're exploring. We're exploring the idea of teaching patent strategy to students. Yeah. Let's say this product, for example, how many patents are related to that? Then the next question is, can we come with something new? What part of it is so critical? This is so far in the States, nobody teaches that too. In Taiwan, they have that.
It's one of the most creative minds in the world. Works, spend a lot of time in patent.
Who?
Yes, who? Einstein.
Einstein, yes. Einstein was the patent clerk. Very good point. Einstein was the patent clerk. You're actually looking at inventions and all that. But I'm not taking sides. I'm a realist. The world is dominated by the US. And they will still dominate it for the time being. You know? But there's always what I call a limit to growth.
What you've shown us is that in fact patent law is the mother of invention, and that it existed long before there were any Americans, and probably long after there will be any Americans.
Yes.
And that China is irrelevant in that context as America, but patent law is probably here to stay.
Yeah, okay, here to stay. You're saying neutral.
There's the perfect diagram.
Yes. The patent is not American.
And other people piggyback on top of it.
No,
It goes around.
I think
And that's
this case,
one of the sources of invention.
I think in this case, we are not arguing whether it is West or American or East,
But very similar.
You are subjected to, you are dictated. This is the way to do it. If we want to be equal or be at the same level as they are, we should be able to tell, okay, that is your way. I think it doesn't benefit me, I'm going different way.
No, you can do that. Learn from the Japanese. Okay. I thought the Chinese the same thing. First, why you invent the wheel when it's already invented? And the Chinese have a lot of pride in that sense in the past. Why should we copy the Americans? Why can't we be different? Why can't we be unique? But actually, if you follow the Japanese style is we copy first, then we innovate. So Japanese are copy innovators, not innovators. Because for any product that comes about, there is a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of R&D. There's a lot of, So by copying, we're actually benefiting from the person's toy. You see what I'm trying to get at? Alright? Then after that, then you improve on it. Copy innovate. That's why Japan was industrialized very fast compared to the Chinese. The Chinese in the past, you know in China, right, what happened? They didn't allow that. They didn't allow under Empress Dowager. She was anti-Western. Meiji Revolution is different. The Japanese decided, okay, we have closed ourselves long enough, we will now embrace Westernization. As a result, the Japanese fleet was able to sink the Russian fleet, right, through rapid industrialization. Yes.
This patent, AT&T.
Yes.
AT&T, the engineers are promoted based on the number of patents.
Yeah, they found. Yes.
And I think even in our IPA research, as a research, they got a very small column on patent.
Yes.
So I think the performance indicator, whether you will perform or not to be quite patent, is there, but it's not very as advanced as in most American companies.
Okay, but the usefulness of the patent is that there are a panel of examiners to examine your invention. And to say, yeah, okay, your invention is worthy of us, issuing your patent. So that at least it's minimal criteria test, right? And of course, one of the comments Michael Porter made about Singapore was that NUS, the whole university, there are only 7 patents filed. What a miserable number it was, and that woke us up, that we need to actually. In other words, patent is one step of converting your idea